Hi folks, how you doing? Russell, TrueResults303.com. Check out the website, link in the description box, Mind, Body, Spirit, Fitness. Putting the healing back in health. Once again, when you're at the website, link in the description box, click on free gifts, setting goals, nutrition, supplementation. Hopefully those are going to help you on your journey of at least health. Alright? So, once again, Facebook, Google+, Podcast, Stitcher, iTunes, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, True Results 303. Coming at you today with a video on the so-called Christian terrorist. And who knows what the name's going to be, but that's, if clicking on that video, on this video, that's what you're looking at. Right, so we all know the Pulse attacks just happened. Supposedly this guy was Muslim. He was American though. He wasn't from the East. But now there's the whole thing going on where it's, I think that now they're starting to consider it the biggest, what is that? I don't even know what it's considered, just the biggest mass shooting in history or whatever. And then of course if you talk to the Indians, we all know it's the Indian massacre, which I think actually happened here in Colorado. But, so now I think it's McVeigh, there's a picture, and it was like the real, biggest massacre in the States was committed by a Christian. So I just want to clarify some things, and I wanted to get this video out. I'm probably going to be late for work. I wanted to get this video out before I forgot some of my talking points, which I might have already done. So the first thing I think we've got to understand, if you're a Christian or you're a Catholic, especially if you're Catholic, we will understand this more because of our beliefs and our faith, right? So I posted this because one of my cousins posted that picture of McVeigh, so I put this in the comment box. And we've got to understand, for Catholics, we have a practicing Catholic and a non-practicing Catholic, right? So what does that mean, right? We believe as Catholics that we go off of church teaching. What the church teaches is what we are supposed to believe and try to follow, whether it be contraception, premarital sex, whatever the case may be. So when I see this picture of McVeigh going around, that's my first question. Is he a practicing Christian? And like I said, if you're just a non-denominational other form of Christianity, you're not going to understand this concept. But for us, there's practicing and non-practicing Catholics, which means you believe in the teachings of the church. And one thing I think we need to understand, that I remember hearing that whoever this gentleman was, I don't know his name, that committed this attack, or we can say any of these Islamic, radical Islam, Muslim, whatever you want to call them, terrorists, these are men that usually go to church 7 days a week. They're praying every single day. They are submersing, whatever the word is, themselves in the religion, in the faith. So these are, in a sense, practicing Muslim, practicing Islamic, I don't know what you want to call it, but they are practicing. So I don't want to hear this whole concept of, oh, the Christian this, the Christian that, coming from a Catholic perspective. Are you practicing the faith? We've always got to understand that life starts after church. If you're just going to church on Sunday, in my opinion, that doesn't make, in anybody's opinion, that doesn't make you a Christian. That's why we as well as Catholics are against this, oh, once you believe, you're saved and everything's all good. No, it's a process. Getting to know Jesus, getting to know God, it's a process. You need to be walking daily. It's not just I go on Sunday, yay, I'm saved. No, that's not how it goes. You must be practicing the faith. And one thing like I said before, is I think that a majority of these terrorists, they are practicing in that sense. They're going to mosque or whatever they want to call it, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7 times a week. They're praying their standard 6 times a day, whatever it's supposed to be. They are practicing. Now, once again, I'm not trying to put them into a box and say, hey, they're all terrorists. No, it's not what I'm trying to say. But I'm just trying to go into the defense of the Christian aspect. Then they're going to say, well, what about the Crusades? Right? Because Obama brought the Crusades up. What about the Crusades? Out there killing, da-da-da. If you do your research, and I still have more to do, and mine are from Catholic sources, Christian sources, it's always going to be the reason why the Crusades happened is the exact same reason why, or the exact same reason of what's happening right now in today's world. With all these terrorist attacks from radical Islam and things of that nature. That's why the Catholic Church started the Crusades in the first place. Because things like this right now were happening. Radical Islam was transplanting throughout the world in that time frame, and the church decided to do something for it, which ended up being the Crusades. Now, of course, I'm sure they mishandled a lot of things, and they took the wrong approach. The church were just men, right? But from my understanding, that's what the Crusades were about. Okay? Next, if you're not even Christian, I don't know if you saw it, and I don't know if it's true, I didn't do any more research after it, but I saw that they said the Dalai Lama came out and said that Islam, Muslim, whatever you want to call it, cannot spread the way it is spreading right now. It's going to be bad for the human race. That's the Dalai Lama. That's not a Christian. That's the Dalai Lama. So what are your views on that? All right, what are your views on that? Let me know. And then I was just thinking about it when I was getting ready, and this is why I wanted to make the video. I think it's funny how something like this happens in the United States, and the United States bands together to support Islam, Muslim, whatever you want to call it, to support. They're not all terrorists. They're not all this. They're not all that. But right now in the Middle East, Christians are being beheaded and killed every single day. And I don't hear Muslims standing up and saying, why are the Christians doing this? Or why are we doing this to Christians? Why? Christians aren't bad. Christians aren't this. Christians aren't that. And they're over there killing Christians every single day. And I don't hear the Muslim community or Islam community, whatever you want to call it, I'm not trying to offend anybody, I don't hear them saying a dang thing about it. They're not sticking up for the Christian person. But yet here in the States, we're going to, I understand that we've got to, not all Muslims are terrorists. I understand that. But I don't see the same thing that we're trying to do here in America happening over there. But then again, I don't have friends from, Muslim communities. That's something I need to work on. But anyways, there's some, food for thought. A couple things for you to think about, for discussion. Hopefully we can get in the comment box, have, some decent conversations. But I'm going to be late for work. I got to get going. So, once again, check out the podcast, Facebook, Google+, True Results 303. Join the community. Let's make this I a we. And subscribe to the channel. Share and like these videos.